again, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of Adventures Over Leaves. This is Sophie, and it's lovely to have you back. If you're new, welcome. This is episode 3 of 12. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to show you this one. This is probably one of my favorite ones of the collection. I love clovers. I love 4-leaf clovers. I love 3-leaf clovers. I love 8-leaf clovers. I've got a friend who has this magical knack for finding clovers, 4-leaf clovers plus, wherever he goes, and he is just magical. I have found one 4-leaf clover in my entire life, and believe me, I look for them. But he just seems to do it like every week. Oh look, I found a 9-leaf clover. Amazing. Very jealous. Anyway, I love them. I love the shape. I love the motif. It's just, yeah, such a cute little time, these little 4-leaf clovers. They look great in the garden as well. So this adventurer is a cutie. She is sort of jumping over the leaves, jumping sort of like facing away from us as an audience. I don't know, I just love also the back of characters in illustration. It's a bit more mysterious. There's a bit more of a story that you can tell with this one for yourself. I don't know, I think it's a really cute pose and a really cute composition. Yeah, I had a good time making this piece, and the base is really has all these really good textures, like of the paint bleeding and all these like little spider leggy kind of shapes and colors blending into other colors happening. Really dig that. And I wanted to, like, you know, make it super colorful and more detailed, but I didn't want to lose any of those fun shapes. So there were moments where I had to kind of paint over some of the parts, but I tried to keep as much of that kind of interesting organic texture that watercolor provides us as much as I could. If you want to know more about the materials I'm using to paint this series, jump over and have a look at this video, which is like an intro into how I set up, how I got ready, and what the series is all about. Yeah, for me, painting in watercolor, or painting in general, painting in all sorts of mediums, it's all about layering and building up layers. Which can be difficult in the brain sometimes, because you're building up layers and then you get to this awkward stage where it just, yeah, the vision, it's hard to see. So when you're doing all the layers, you're like, oh, this is ugly, this looks terrible, why isn't it looking beautiful all at once? But you really just have to persevere. You have to build it up slowly with watercolors. You know, you kind of also have to wait for every layer to dry before you go on to the next layer, unless you want that paint bleedy, spready look, which sometimes I do, obviously. It looks so fun. I love the way it looks. But yeah, there's a lot of waiting around with watercolors and layer building. But it's so important. Layering is so important to bring your artwork to life, to give it depth, to give it detail and intrigue and interest. Yeah, it's essential. And it's also really fun to figure out what needs layering, what needs new layers, and what can stay as it is. And because this piece here has like a simplicity to it in the way that the leaves look, I thought it would be really fun to do, you know, the less is more thing. So I did leave a lot of the original base coat visible. Whereas last year, the series that I did using acrylic gouache, I painted the entire base first and then essentially covered it entirely in layers. So the base is still important because it sort of like brings this underglow, which is really nice. When you do paint over the entire thing, yeah, you still have this sort of underglow of yellow or green or whatever colors you're using, and it can inform other decisions as you layer. But yeah, with this one I really liked a lot of the textures that were going on. There were some parts where I wanted to darken it up and some parts where I wanted to lighten it, and you just achieve that with a lot of water on your brush and a little bit of paint. You see that I will sort of dip my brush into a pan of paint and then dip it into water just to like water it up, and that's how I get like a lighter kind of glaze look of the color. And it also helps to blend colors more as well if you have a bit more water on your brush. So yeah, it depends how thick you want your color and your layers to be. When I was sketching in the little adventurer character, I tried to visualize it in my mind's eye first and then painted it on, but sometimes that doesn't work and I make mistakes. Like I said in last video, I make mistakes. So I ended up having to go over a big portion of her butt and legs with white acrylic gouache to try and cover up the mistake that I had made of making her bum too big. It just proportionally didn't work with the way my illustration was looking and based on the sketch that I did, which you've seen at the very beginning in the first shot. Yeah, so that's just the reality. And actually I kind of really like being able to see that there was this quote mistake or happy accident. You can clearly see that there has been a portion of her bum painted out. But yeah, I like that. I like being able to see the tracks of the artist's direction, the artist's progression in the artwork. Yeah, it's really satisfying. With this entire series, I also had a lot of fun doing the shadows in the leaves as the leaves overlap the other leaves. So that was another layering technique with shadows, and choosing colors which are interesting in the shadows. So you can see, like with this leaf here, the inside part of it is lighter than the outside part of it, and I just chose a nice olivey green, not necessarily the darker version of the light blue within this clover, but like a completely different green, because why not? Because light is all different colors, and like different light can affect the way it looks. So I just had fun layering different colors as shadows. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, it was just a good time. I had a great time. Anyway, here's the final piece. I hope you really like it. It's coming out as a calendar soon, by the end of this month, October, hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, I love you all very much. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one in a couple of days. All right, tooroo.